Hello everybody, it's Freakzii here. With the Pokemon Company turning 30 years old in the year 2026, I really want to talk about what my expectations are for this year and what I'd personally really like to see for this anniversary year. In this video, I want to talk about in-game events that I think might happen, new game releases I think would come out, and a few dream announcements that I think would really make the anniversary year really special. I'll start firstly off with what in-game events I think is going to happen. So, first up, I'd like to talk about Pokemon Legends EA. For this game, I'd really like to see a lot more free content coming out over this year, especially after they rushed out the DLC, it felt like, with the quick release date after the release. I really would like to see kind of new story missions, optional side quests, and things to really keep the game fresh up until Generation 10. Especially as well, I'd really like around the 30th anniversary a special in-game event that maybe releases some sort of cool shiny Pokemon that we haven't had access to before, or something like this that would really maybe explain some sort of new story or something that we haven't heard about, some story connecting to a legendary mythical Pokemon maybe, or something that can really give us a really great story that we can play around the 30th anniversary to feel like we're really immersed back into the universe, especially with the sort of main most modern Pokemon game that has recently come out. So, going backwards from Legends EA, now talking about Scarlet and Violet, I don't really expect much new in-game content for them. We'll probably just get the usual Terra Red rotations and battle events, but hopefully for the anniversary, I really hope something for me especially, they really release the shiny legendaries. There's not everybody got them in the last rotation. I'm in the UK and frustratingly they did not do any sort of in-person distribution for these two legendaries, so I still don't get to have the shiny ones of them. So I'm really hoping at the Pokemon's 30th anniversary they might go and release them for us and some sort of global distribution event that we can get through some sort of mystery gift, as I feel like especially in the UK and a lot of other places in the world that didn't get this sort of release really missed out, and the 30th anniversary would be a really great way to kind of tie all this up before Generation 10 comes out and we move on to the next set of kind of box legendaries to be released. So the next game I want to talk about, everybody, is Pokemon GO. A game I still play quite a lot myself, and it's also turning 10 years old itself. So it's not just an anniversary for Pokemon, but also an anniversary for this game in particular as well. And with Scopely acquiring this game from Niantic last year, and with how, in my opinion, they've been doing a really great job at adding more content into the game and really making the game feel more active and alive again, I really can see really big things for Pokemon GO this year, and really hope that they're going to release some really cool in-game events around shinies and these sort of things to celebrate the 10th and 30th anniversaries respectively. For me, I think especially when the around the 30th anniversary does come out, I really love them to release Mewtwo again. It has been many years since we've seen Mewtwo come back to Pokemon Go, and it is one of the 151 original ones. Well, it's the only 151 original Pokemon I don't have to finish that original Pokedex, so I really want it. I also want a legit shiny one as well, so I'd really like to try and hunt for that in Pokemon Go as well. I think they will release something like this, and I think that they're gonna, probably will also end up releasing some sort of more fusion Pokemon. Maybe they'll release two different types of fusion Pokemon this year instead of one, as it's their 30th anniversary, and maybe they'll come up with some more really cool battle passes and things like this to use. But I think it's Pokemon Go especially going to be a really special and really great year, especially now that they've released the level 80 update. So I'd really recommend you kind of having a look at it again when you guys get a chance, if you want to hop back in to celebrate the 30th anniversary. So the final game I want to talk about getting updates for the 30th anniversary is Pokemon Unite. I think this could easily be a really big year for the franchise. I think they could easily drop some really big characters around the 30th anniversary event. Something like Zoroark or Gallade, or even maybe Victini would be really special to celebrate this sort of event, as well as adding some really cool special in-game skins to celebrate this sort of 30th year anniversary. And hopefully we can see some really cool events that make the whole of Pokemon link up together to have a really amazing year together. So, with all the in-game events covered for, I think, are going to come out for the 30th anniversary, I thought the next best thing to talk about were game releases that I think are probably banged on for this year, or if they don't come out, I'll be very surprised if they're not delayed for 2027 at a minimum. Firstly, we already know that Pokepedia is already coming out. It has been already released. It's got a release date for March, I believe, and it's something that I'm going to be really excited to try out. And, hopefully they're going to be adding some cool 30th year anniversary game events in there and hidden Easter eggs and laws and things like that we can use to learn more about the game in general. Then moving on to Generation 10, I think that this year will be the year that they do release Generation 10, probably around November time. They really can't wait much longer, especially with the new hardware coming out and the 30th anniversary. It's really hard, to kind of not make this timing up. Obviously, I appreciate if the game isn't ready and it needs to be delayed, it needs to be delayed, but with the amount of time they've already had within main series games, I think this is going to be the perfect year to release the next series of Pokemon games that is going to change the whole console generation and change the whole game format with the open world. And I think with the mistakes they made in the Switch 1 error in generation, I think they're going to put all that to good use with the Switch 2's new hardware and hopefully the new engine that they're going to be implementing into the new Generation 10 games. So I think that there's going to be a hell of a lot of cool things happening, and I can't wait to see what they come up with. I imagine they're probably going to announce this on Pokemon Day alongside the 30th anniversary, and then build up hype for the next couple of months until we see that in November. And alongside that, to keep us happy, I imagine they'll keep putting us out with Legends EA content to keep us entertained, as well as the PF stuff that we haven't yet seen or we don't know what they're going to be doing yet. Also, I think that they're going to release Pokemon Champions. I definitely think this will come out before Generation 10, probably around Pokemon Day, hopefully as early in the year as possible. I really think this is a really cool thing and something that they've needed to do for a while for two main reasons. Firstly, to allow a real dedicated place for the VGC, as it between hopping between lots of different games and generations, it was very hard, and to have one proper competitive battle hub will allow people to, save stats and have a lot more dedicated, enjoyable experience, whilst allowing to relieve some pressure off of the main series and allow it to kind of go and form how it wants to and experiment a little bit more, as you can't really experiment on a game that's going to be used as a VGC where people play professionally for not just for prize money, obviously for the love of the game, but you can't have something that's experimental. You need something that's going to take challenge and skill to do, and that's where you can do that with Pokemon Champions, and then they're allowed to do more kind of an experimental battle style with Generation 10 and look to implement some Legends EA things, I imagine. That's kind of all of the things that I think were guaranteed for this year. I think there's definitely going to be one or two more releases, but I definitely think Pokemon Champions, Pokepay, and Generation 10 are all things that are definitely going to be released for the 30th anniversary year. So something I think we're also very likely to get this year, but we've still had no real information on, is the Pokemon Classic games, Pokemon Colosseum, and Pokemon XD Gales of Darkness. These older games were announced last year as coming to the virtual console, and we still have basically heard nothing about when they're going to be released or if they're going to be home compatible or anything like this. So I really hope that they kind of give us some sort of announcement, maybe especially around Pokemon Day as well. Or what my dream scenario would be is maybe they just shadow drop them on Pokemon Day. That would be really, really cool and give people something to play on them days on both consoles, because you're going to be able to access Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gales of Darkness on the virtual console on both. So it'd be really great for everybody, even if you don't own the Switch 2 yet, to be able to celebrate and all replay and reminisce, or for some people, play for the first time if you've never played these really great old games before. So, what are my dream announcements that I want to see for the 30th anniversary? Some things that we could get that would be a huge surprise that would make this year just that little bit special for all of us Pokemon fans. Firstly, I definitely think a full classic collection in the summer would be incredible for Generation 10. Not even a full classic collection, just a few of the games, and then maybe you could release more later down the road. I want the old art style back. I just want the games kind of not even spruced up. I just want them released, able to play on my Switch 2 without having to emulate. I want to experience that nostalgia again, especially playing through Unova and things like that. I want them to release kind of all the editions of all the games, so Black 1, Black 2, X, Y, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I want them to release all the versions of all the games so we get to experience them all again. I really don't think that's going to be something that they're going to do. I think they maybe release one or two of the classic games, but I have got another video on my channel if you would like to go and watch it, which I will try and link below, which is my idea for how I would design a Pokemon's Classic collection. So if you want to hear more in detail about that, that will be linked in the description and maybe on the screen if I figure out how to do it. But yeah, also I'd really like them maybe to announce some sort of remake of a older game, maybe something Unova or something like this. I really can't see them doing something like this, and I can see them saving a Unova remake for next year or something like that. But It would be really, really cool to get some sort of additional big game to play. I want to play Pokemon all year long and enjoy the 30th anniversary. So hopefully they release some sort of other cool big things. Maybe something like a Pokemon Battle Revolution on the Wii or something like that. Sort of a really big surprise, something really out of left field that people are not expecting, but definitely something that they're hoping for. So that pretty much covers everything I want to talk about in today's video and everything that I'm expecting for the Pokemon's 30th anniversary from a video game perspective. I'm really hoping for really great in-game events, fair distributions, meaningful updates, and hopefully new games that are going to push the franchise forward for generations to come. What do you guys want to see this year from the Pokemon Company? Do you think my predictions are going to be right, or do you think that there are things that I've got wrong? Let me know in the comment section down below. I really hope you enjoy watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.